They say your wedding day is supposed to be the happiest day of your life. It's full of love, laughter, and memories you'll carry forever. But what if one of those memories was something, or someone, you couldn't explain? Picture it, 1973. A small rural town in South Australia. A young couple says, "I do," in a rustic countryside chapel, only to find out later, when the wedding photos come back, that a mysterious woman, dressed in black, was lurking in the shadows of their ceremony. A woman no one remembered seeing. A woman who had died 25 years earlier. Yeah, this isn't your average wedding story. This is the chilling tale of a ghostly guest, a spirit who may have returned to attend a ceremony she was robbed of decades before. Wedding Paranormal Encounter, the ghost guest of 1973-inch. And before we go further, ask yourself this. If you saw a photo of a ghost at your wedding, what would you do? Frame it? Burn it? Or dig deeper? So let's set the mood. It's April of 1973, and we're in a quiet, vineyard-laced town called Tanunda, located in the Barossa Valley region. It's one of those postcard-perfect places. Rolling hills, stone cottages, and a tiny chapel that dates all the way back to 1871. The bride, Margaret Ellis, is a 24-year-old schoolteacher, known for her gentle voice and love of classical literature. The groom, Peter Caldwell, is 27, a third-generation vineyard worker with a strong jawline and a dry sense of humor. They met at a library of all places, classic meet-cute vibes. Apparently, Peter was checking out a copy of Wuthering Heights, and Margaret joked that only tortured romantics read that book. Turns out, she wasn't wrong. They clicked instantly. The wedding planning was pretty simple. Back then, you didn't need Pinterest boards or a flower budget larger than your rent. Just a church, a local baker, and your grandma's favorite dressmaker. But the chapel? Oh, the chapel had a story of its own. See, the chapel wasn't just old, it was historic. Built from weathered stone and hand-carved pews, it had survived floods, fires, and 2 world wars. But had also seen tragedy. Back in 1948, a young woman named Eliza Hartwell, Margaret's aunt, in fact, was supposed to marry her fiancé in that very same chapel. But she never made it down the aisle. Minutes before the ceremony, she collapsed in the bridal room. The official cause was heart failure, but some say it was grief. Others say it was a curse. You see, Eliza had been engaged to another man before, one who died in a freak accident on the farm. They say she never truly let go. She was buried in her wedding gown. The family never spoke much about her after that. Too painful. Sound like the setup to a ghost story yet? But hold on, this isn't just about Eliza. Because decades later, someone else was watching Margaret walk down the same aisle. Fast forward to the day of the wedding. Everything's perfect. Sunny skies. The smell of eucalyptus trees in the air. Margaret looks radiant in a vintage lace dress. Ironically, the same one Eliza was supposed to wear. And standing at the back, snapping pictures like a proud uncle at Comic-Con, was Peter's relative, Uncle Terry. He was a camera buff. Always had the latest gear. We're talking proper fill photography, none of that instant Polaroid stuff. He takes a shot of the bride and groom leaving the church. Confetti flying. Guests clapping. Beautiful frame. But when he gets the photos developed a few days later, yeah, people had to develop photos back then, he notices something odd. In one of the shots, just behind the last row of pews, there's a figure. A woman, dressed in black, face pale, veil covering half her face. No one else noticed her at the wedding. She wasn't seated. She wasn't on the guest list. And she wasn't in any other photo. When Margaret sees the photo, she freezes. "That looks like Aunt Eliza," she whispers. Now imagine this. You're already spooked because you wore your dead aunt's wedding dress. On her birthday, no less. And now she shows up in your wedding photo? Margaret quietly pulls out an old family album. And sure enough, there's Eliza. Same gaunt features. Same dark eyes. And that veil, it's identical to the one she wore in 1948. Even more chilling, that part of the church where the woman appeared, it was the exact spot where Eliza collapsed. Coincidence? Or something else? Now the family splits into two camps. Camp number one, the believers. Mostly older folks, they say, of course it's her. Eliza's soul never left. They believe she came back to witness the wedding she never had, that it was a spiritual closure. Camp number two, the skeptics. Mostly younger cousins and Peter's mates. They're convinced it was a camera glitch, a guest who walked in late, or an accidental double exposure. One cousin jokes that it's just Aunt Linda after too much champagne, but Aunt Linda was wearing bright blue, and this figure was clearly in black. And then weird things started happening. A week after the wedding, Margaret's younger cousin Melissa, just 10 at the time, woke up screaming. She said she dreamt of a woman standing at the end of her bed, holding lilies and crying softly. The kicker? Eliza's favorite flowers were white lilies. No one ever told Melissa that. Another incident? The church organ played 3 notes, soft and somber, late one evening when the chapel was locked up. The cleaner who heard it never came back. The local paper got wind of the story, too. For a brief time, the town buzzed with talk about the ghost bride of Tanunda. Even tourists started sneaking into the chapel to see if they could spot her. And now, let's talk about Father Callahan. Before he passed in the early 2000s, the priest who officiated Margaret and Peter's wedding gave an interview to a local historian. In it, he admitted something strange. He said that during the wedding vows, he felt a chill in the air, like ice water down his spine. And as he looked out into the pews, he thought he saw a woman in black at the back. When he blinked, she was gone. But he never said anything because, well, who's going to believe a priest sees ghosts during wedding ceremonies? So what do we make of this? Was it Eliza's spirit? A residual haunting? A soul waiting to feel the love she was once denied? Some believe strong emotional events, like heartbreak or death, can create an imprint on a place, a loop that replays over and over, especially during similar emotional energy, like another wedding. And here's a fun twist. Some even compare this case to the ghost of the SS Watertown or the Amityville wedding apparition. There's a pattern in haunted wedding locations: love, tragedy, and unresolved endings. What's your theory? Was Eliza there in peace, in envy? Or was she just watching from beyond? Real or not, this story reminds us that love and loss are deeply tied. Sometimes, the past isn't as buried as we think. So now I ask you, if you saw a ghost in your wedding photos, what would you do? Would you keep it as a memory? Or run for the hills? Drop your theories in the comments. Ever seen something strange in an old family photo? Or maybe you have your own ghostly wedding story. Let's hear it. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell, because more real ghost stories are coming soon. And who knows? The next one might be closer than you think.